Hello and welcome to another episode of FE Talks. My dear friends, this is a much awaited video which I had promised you I would provide you to provide you with a support, or you can say an additional resource, additional to the readings that I have sent you, additional to the student book, which you'll find that wherever I have referenced SB, wherever I have said SB, I'm referring to your student resource book. So I've sent you page numbers and I've sent you the exact chapters and topics which are going to be abundant in providing you with the answers to most of your objective questions for this unit 002. Other than your student book, the PowerPoint presentation that you must have received is also a wonderful resource because it outlines and details and spreads everything out for you to pick. You can pick things and you can use an eclectic approach. You can take an idea or inspiration from what they have provided you with, and of course you have to put in your input, and according to your understanding, your terms and terminology, in your own conceptual understanding, you have to pen down the answers. Having said that, I'm quickly recapping for questions 1 to 30 of 002. Your best go-to resources are the student book, the PowerPoint presentation, the 6 readings, the government websites and the readings that I have sent to you on our communication group, and this support video. Alright, I'm going to whiz through it. So, without any further ado, as I've just told you in the document that I sent you, that question 1, the answer is more than adequately described and present in your student book in the PowerPoint presentation. Question number 2 also. Question number 3, I've sent you the navigation, and now I'll come directly to question number 5. So, question number 5 is asking us, when developing the service agreement, it is essential to define and clearly articulate the roles and responsibilities of each party, including the level and type of service provision. So, the 6 essential requirements I'm going to share with you. Who will do what? Key 2. Who will be responsible for what? 3. Who will report to whom? 4. How are collaboration activities managed? 5. What the individual partners' roles and responsibilities are. 6. The decision-making tree, such as committees and the lead authority. The 6 key people and decision-making bodies include number 1, the lead or trustee organization, 2, partner organizations, 3, advisory or steering committee, 4, working groups, 5, partner organization staff assigned to the collaboration, 6, staff hired by the collaboration. Now this is my suggestion for answer 5. For question number 5, you will find excellent detail and excellent material in the PowerPoint presentation as well as reading number 1 and 2. Please do visit those readings and further beef up your answer. Question number 6. I've given you the navigation 7, 8, 9, 10, and now I'll share with you how you can approach question number 11. Alrighty. Specify a mutually satisfactory 3-step process to resolve conflicts and complaints. Okay, step 1. Address your differences in a timely, open and honest manner. Step 2. Attempts to solve problems at the personnel level at which they occur. Now mind it, this is personnel. PERSONNEL, which means the staff and employees in a company. So wherever and whichever department of the organization a problem arises, you tackle it there and then with reference to the personnel or the staff of that department. Okay? Repeating step 2, attempts to solve problems at the personnel level at which they occur. Step 3, if appropriate, call in independent mediators to assess the collaboration and situation. Question number 12. Criteria 1. Specific services provided punctually to the required specific quality. I'm repeating, specific services to be provided punctually and promptly to the required specific quality. Criteria 2. Service user satisfaction. Criteria 3. Performance against service management requirements and KPIs. You know, KPIs stand for Key Performance Indicators. Criteria 4. Minutes of the meeting, discussions and records collected over the service agreement term. Question number 13. If you see, I have given you page navigation. So you'll find the answer, you'll find navigation for the answer on pages 51, 52 and 54 of the student book. Question number 14 is what I'm going to explore with you right now. Coming directly to the criteria. Criteria 1. What approach will we take? For example, surveys, mapping, focus groups, document analysis, testimonials, storytelling. It will be essential to use different strategies to address the complex and dynamic nature of collaboration. Criteria 2. What approach is needed to capture events as they unfold and to look at past achievements? Criteria 3. Will the evaluation be carried out routinely, periodically, or at longer intervals? Criteria 4. Whose views need addressing to ensure that there are a wide range and credibility of answers to paint a real picture? Criteria 5. How can we measure unexpected results in the evaluation? Remember that collaboration can lead to synergies and outcomes unexpectedly. Criteria 6. What questions need to be asked to obtain the right information? Criteria 7. Which sources of information and which sources of information do we have at our disposal and how credible are they? Criteria 8. Is there the necessary information we can use to make comparative analysis? Number 9. Who collects the information and how can this be done without the slightest degree of bias and preconceived notions? If you just write without any bias, that's fine. Criteria number 10. Who has to check the evaluation results? For example, partners, partner organizations, respondents, funders, key stakeholders, etc., etc. Criteria 11. How can the results be presented in such a way that they enable the best observations and learning? For example, showing consolidated information or the diversity of perspectives using tables or vignettes. VIGNETTES. Criteria 12. How can we ensure we capture different interpretations? Do we question our assumptions? Are we flexible in our approach? Then the 2 actions needed to respond to learning. Number 1, how are we going to make changes, modifications, adjustments or refinements based on what we have learned? Action 2, how can we use this information to win support for our initiative and our project goals? Question number 15. Now, the question is asking us, there should be a process in place to amend partnership agreements and renegotiate with partner organizations where appropriate. Step number 1. The project partners will provide the steering committee with written notice of their intention to withdraw from the collaboration for at least 3 months. They will fulfill all outstanding reporting and performance obligations. Step 2. Cases where partners fail to deliver on their commitments will be referred to the steering committee for discussion and conflict resolution if necessary. Step number 3. The partners realize their participation is no longer viable after discussing the situation and alternatives to the current arrangement in the steering committee. The partners may agree to dissolve the relationship honorably and without acrimony. So, in a decent, respectable, dignified, and gracious manner. Step number 4. Send the communication in writing to the relevant stakeholders. With this, we come to question number 16. If you see the document I've sent you on the communication group, you will find this very thoroughly detailed in the reading. Question number 17 is what I'm going to visit with you now. So question 17 is asking us, explain the 8-step partnership cycle and relating processes. Actually, that is also in reading 2 and reading 3 and also in your PowerPoint presentation, but I'll quickly skim over it. Step number 1. Be clear about your reasons and capacity to enter into a partnership. Talk to your employees. Build interest, trust, and commitment. Step number 2. Identify potential partners. Talk to them about the possibility of partnership. Check for organizational alignment between both partners. Step number 3. Spend some time getting to know your partner's organizations and its representatives. Build working relations. Step number 4. Plan the partnership possibility. Explore and agree on the structure, arrangement, and management of the partnership. Agree on roles and responsibilities and document it. MOUs. Step 5. Once the partnership is defined, program details are agreed upon, and resources identified and committed to, implementation can then begin. Be flexible and open to new possibilities and opportunities. Step number 6. Communicate internally and externally about the partnership. Keep stakeholders up to date on the partnership, its progress and results. Step number 7. Monitor partnership processes and learning. Evaluate program outcomes and achievements. Review partnership and program aims and activities on learning from monitoring and evaluation outcomes. And step number 8, based on the findings in step 7 and the experience of working together collaboratively, both partners agree on future partnerships. That or anything similar that you have gathered and penned down in your own terms and terminology is a complete answer 17. With that, I'd like to explore question number 18 with you. Who should be involved in a collaborative partnership? This is an approach, a suggested approach. Collaborative partnerships rely on participation by at least 2 parties who agree to share resources, such as finances, knowledge, know-how, know who, know when, and people. Organizations in a collaborative partnership share common goals. The essence of collaborative partnership is for all parties to benefit from working together mutually. Roles and responsibilities. For example, who does what? So the roles and responsibilities for each person should be clearly defined. Everything should be clear, concise, correct. Because if everybody knows what they're supposed to do, the whole machinery, the mechanism and system will function in a smooth manner. Okay? Alright, I'll come back to the points. Roles and responsibilities. Who does what? Who is responsible for what? Who reports to whom? How collaboration and its activities are managed and how they are kept manageable. Think of the roles and responsibilities of each partner in the partnership and decision-making groups such as committees and lead agencies. Question number 19. Tenders. The funding agency determines the results. The lenders are purchasing a service or product at a specified price. Funding granted according to the achievement of certain milestones. Often there is a short period between the tender and the deadline. What is procurement? This is procurement. Governments ensure that external providers provide public services, also known as contract or service contracts. All Australian governments put a greater emphasis on the procurement of services, including alcohol and other drug services. The lenders determine the required service, the required standard, and the price to be paid. Organizations should assess what the donor is asking for and whether it is achievable for their organization. The agreement template provides a comprehensive list of possible considerations, for example, to define how the partners work together, clarify expectations, and describe what is to be achieved. This agreement may include evaluation mechanisms and a conflict resolution process. Next, we come to grants. We've all heard about government grants for communities. What are grants? Grants typically provide one-off support for a specific purpose over a particular time period. Grants are awarded to finance project-based research, pilot initiatives, or community development activities. Grants generally granted under conditions governing the use of the budget, for example, the provision of alcohol and other drug counseling. If funds used for the stated purpose within the given time frame, they may have to be returned. For both grants and calls for tenders, there may be an obligation to achieve description in your purpose, in your proposal, so your proposition, whatever you're suggesting, and there may be an obligation to submit progress reports and do yearly reporting. So you have to justify where the grant was spent and how it built the capacity and provided value and added value to the lives of the community members. You have to justify everything. And grant is not for profit. With that, we complete question number 19. And now, as you will see, what are referral networks? I have given you a suggestion in the document. Next, question 21. Reading number 6 will provide you with the answer beautifully. It is Aqua's website and you'll find the answer there. Question number 22. Let's explore together. Question number 22. My suggestion. The context provides the background for the definition of the objectives and strategies of collaboration. It articulates the key issues, needs, and problems that collaboration has jointly addressed and describes the environment in which collaboration works. Its primary purpose is to generate information that stimulates thinking and provides insights that lead to the best possible strategies. Question number 23. Service agreement management is the process that guarantees that CD and service providers meet their obligations under the service agreement and that services meet the required standards within the agreed time frame. A collaborative relationship between CD and service providers which aligns with the policy partnership principles and behaviors is essential to effectively manage a service agreement. Service agreement management should be continued throughout the service agreement's life and is a means to ensure that the desired community service level and the individual results are achievable. Active service agreement management will allow early identification of improvements to the service model that could be modified and negotiated, maximizing the contract's effectiveness and ensuring sustainable collaborative partnership practices. Question number 24. Direct negotiations and influencing strategies involve negotiations with a potential service provider. Direct negotiations and influencing strategies occur after widespread market testing and research and a process including an interest expression. Direct negotiation and influencing strategies considered appropriate include other service providers that do not exist with the necessary skills and there is need to provide them with skills training. Only one service provider exists with the skills and experience required. The best value for money offered. There are strategic considerations such as the viability of other procured services or services for the regional and remote communities that make direct negotiation desirable. Question 25. Step 1. Analyze the conflict. 2. Develop a strategy. 3. Inform stakeholders about the strategy. 4. Establish ground rules for the negotiation. 5. Explore the issues and interests. 6. Specify the information needs. 7. Prioritize the issues. 8. Generate options. 9. Develop criteria for evaluating options. 10. Evaluate the options. 11. Reach an agreement. 12. Develop a written agreement. 13. Approve the agreement. 14. Implement the agreement. Question number 27. Be a good listener. Suggestions? You are in the here and now, in the present moment. You are focused and not distracted. You are curious and show interest for the person who's sharing information with you. You are sincere and open-minded, and you are non-judgmental. Your senses have good reception. You are listening intently to the speaker. You ask the right questions at the right time without interrupting them midstream. You accept the other person's opinions and can choose your own back. You don't interrupt. Use effective questioning. You use effective questioning to open up conversations for ice breaking. You stimulate deeper intellectual thinking. You foster interaction between partners. You gauge if there is alignment between prospective partner organizations. Pay attention to the whole person. I'm listening, watching, or looking at something or someone very closely. When someone speaks, one should focus not only on the tone of his words, but also on facial expressions and body language. So take in the complete picture of the person to get the right signs and signals and symptoms about where they are coming from and what they are all about. 4. Remember things that are important to others. So, remembering people's names is the first step in building relationships. Furthermore, recollecting other significant perspectives about them proceeds with the structure cycle. They will tell us what is essential in their lives. All we need to do is listen and be attentive. Number 5. People who choose moods fluctuates from hot to cold have a hard time building meaningful relationships. So you shouldn't be moody, shifting moods all the time. Regardless of how we feel, we must be able to put these feelings aside temporarily to listen to others and engage with others who are essential in our lives. So you need to be a consistent person. You cannot be a moody or fluctuating person. And number 6, to build strong relationships, we must move and share where appropriate at a level consistent with the depth of the relationship. Good relationship builders they share each other's feelings by reflecting the emotions of the speaking people. Sharing excitement, joy, grief, frustration, disappointment helps us connect with others. If possible, share a situation from your own personal experience to show that you can relate to their experiences, but be careful not to overshadow or intimidate or influence them in a negative manner. Number 7, the energy of people who feel comfortable in their skin, who are optimistic and positive, creates an atmosphere in which we feel comfortable. For example, you want to be around positive people and spend more time with them. You want to be around people who don't gossip, who respect other people's privacy and confidentiality, who do not always draw attention to themselves, have time for the significant others in their lives. So you want to be with people who have time for other people and give respect and regard to other people in their lives. And they are lifelong learners who are still open and looking for opportunities for self-improvement rather than having a laid-back attitude to evolution and growth and saying, I already know all there is to know. So people who always act as if they are know-it-alls, such people, their growth has stunted. Their graphs have stagnated. Be around growth-oriented, growth-minded people. Okay? Question number 27. 1. Enhanced or a more comprehensive range of services for beneficiaries. 2. More excellent geographical coverage or access to new beneficiary groups. 3. A more integrated approach to beneficiary needs. 4. Increased geographical coverage or access to new beneficiary groups. 5. Knowledge, good practice and information sharing. 6. Sharing the risk of new and untried projects. 7. Capacity to replicate the success. 8. Stronger united voice. 9. Better coordination of organizations' activities. 10. Positive PR opportunities around reduced duplication. 11. Mutual support between organizations. 6. Risks of collaborative working can include 1. Loss of flexibility in working practices. 2. Complexity in decision making and loss of autonomy. 3. A cultural mismatch between organizations. 4. The distraction of energy and resources from core objectives. So, resources not being used for the main purpose. 5. Change management challenges. 6. Lack of consistency and clarity about roles and responsibilities. 7. Dilution of brand. 8. Damage to the organization if collaboration is unsuccessful. And 9. Legal obligations. Question number 28. Enhanced or a more comprehensive range of services for beneficiaries, more excellent geographical coverage or access to new beneficiary groups, an integrated approach to the needs of the beneficiaries, financial savings, and better use of existing resources. Question number 29. What is intellectual property? Intellectual property is the property of your mind or of your knowledge. It's the constructive new ideas you create. It can be an invention, a brand, a design, the application of your argument, your ideas, your business propositions, figments of your imagination, your visions, your dreams, your goals. That is your intellectual property. Question number 30 and the last question of the objective section. Number 1. Develop and build effective partnerships. 2. Identify the critical issues in the development of collaboration and help them understand what is important and how to protect their interests. 3. Clarify critical issues before the start of the collaboration. 4. Reduce the need for legal advice and free up resources to build the partnership. And 5. Attract funding. And with that, I thank you all. This is now a 27-minute video. I am quickly taking your leave. Hope this helps you with this unit of competency for your course of study. Adios. Have a lovely evening.